Having grown up in a family where we were always tight on money, it occurred to me that being financially strapped all the time wasn't how I wanted to live my life. And so I sat down, had a conversation with myself. I think I was probably 15, 16 years old. And I remember thinking, I am not going to live this way. And so I decided to commit myself to reading all of the self-help books that I could and studying the best practice systems that actually work. So I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and other books like that. But then I kept going. I kept reading case studies, and I wanted to figure out how is it that this business is successful and what makes this business not successful? What makes this business scale and what makes this business unscalable? And eventually I figured it out. And so I was 16, 17 years old. I started a DJ entertainment company out of my parents' basement and scaled that thing. I no longer own the company, but I grew the company called DJconnection.com to the point where that company would do about 4,000 events or weddings per year. Well, then I scaled it and grew it and scaled it, and I started a party rental company and then a wedding bridal show, and then moved into the men's grooming haircut business with eitrlounge.com, and moved into commercial real estate. I began flipping homes, got involved in dentistry and with a law firm, and just a lot of different businesses that I scaled. And at a certain point, it was 2005, a lot of people began asking me, hey, could you teach me how to scale my business? Or could you teach me how to grow my company? And I think a lot of the initial interest in hiring me to help, the initial interest that business owners had in hiring me came from the fact that I kept winning business awards. And so I was the Entrepreneur of the Year for the city of Tulsa when I was 20 years old, and the Young Entrepreneur of the Year for the state of Oklahoma in 2007 from the Small Business Administration. And I kept being asked to keynote and speak at events like for eXp Realty or eXp Realty Franchising, or for UPS Franchising, or then I would work with companies like OxyFresh and help them to scale and to grow their businesses into 500 plus, to grow their business into 500 plus locations. And, eventually it occurred to me, wow, I can only personally work with 15 clients. Perhaps I should either A, not work with any more clients, or B, teach other people under me how to implement my proven plans and systems. And so today, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you schedule a one-on-one consultation with myself, I personally interact with all first-time clients or potential clients. I personally interact with all of the business owners at each and every business workshop. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you can get tickets to attend our in-person workshops. And then every single morning, before most people get up, I actually sit down and mentor our coaches. And our coaches ask me questions that great people like you have about implementing their proven plan. So if you're in our coaching program, you have a coach that helps you implement the proven systems and processes. But then I make myself available to answer the questions that the coaches have. And so I'm kind of coaching up my team as they're coaching you up. And that's the process that we go through. And I've gone through year after year after year since 2005. And so you're going to hear a audio or a video presentation coming up next year from a man by the name of Robert Redmond. And when Robert Redmond showed up in my life, he had some success in the recruiting phase, but he had never consulted companies. He had never started companies, never grown companies. And I taught Robert literally everything that he needed to know about growing companies. But don't take my word for it. This is Robert's testimonial of what he learned while working with me during, I think, about a 7-year period of time. And I think it's pretty remarkable how much improvement that Robert Redmond was able to make as a result of diligently implementing that which I taught him. And it's always wonderful to work with people like Robert and his father, Tim, because when you work with people that are appreciative, and people that are kind, and people that are not nefarious, and people that treat you well, and are always thankful for the mentorship that you've provided to them. It always continues to give you that love and feeling. It's like you sowed the seeds and now you're reaping the harvest. And so, without any further ado, here's Robert Redmond sharing with you how we helped to grow him. And then on part 2 of today's show, we're going to hear from the good folks at Tip Top Canine. This is an older podcast, but they're going to share how I helped them to grow from one location to a much larger one location as a dog training business. And then I helped them to franchise the entire business by teaching them how to create a one sheet, how to optimize their website, how to hire people, how to fire people, how to recruit people, how to launch online ads, how to track the systems, how to build call scripts, how to install call recording, and really all the things. Actually, then I actually worked with them on the legal aspects of franchising the business, and then I helped them sell the first, I think, 18 locations. And so there's a lot of meat on today's show, and so I encourage you to grab a pen and a pad and take notes as we enter into the dojo of Mojo Faux Show. It's the Drive Time Show on your radio and podcast download.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help, direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all, but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. How to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then, again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. Working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are a call to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life. That standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. Whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. He's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. He's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity, people that want to get through life by just doing enough, by just getting by, people who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he it gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay, I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months, just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say, come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted. I think Clay loves his turkey, chickens, and cats. First of all, because Clay actually spent some time on a farm, I believe in Minnesota. He talks about how his uncle, who's been somewhat of a mentorship figure to him, spent time on a farm with him. And I remember a story that he tells where he says that he didn't wake up on time, and his uncle was telling him, hey, if you don't wake up on time, you're not going to eat. And he didn't wake up on time, and he didn't eat. And there's another time where he didn't try hard at a basketball game. And his uncle said, hey, since you're not trying hard, you're going to walk home. And he literally walked home. So he had that farm experience. But I think on a deeper layer, turkeys and chickens and cats, they're not too dramatic. And I know that Clay does not like dealing with gossip, with drama, with negative emotions. And then, those animals kind of have an aspect of purity to them. And I believe that deep down that Clay loves anything that is wholesome, good, and pure.
On today's show, we are joined with the founder of Tip Top Canine. What's Tip Top Canine? TipTopCanine.com is a dog training business and a franchise that teaches people just like you how to train dogs within 6 weeks so that you can become a tip-top canine franchisee. It's a business model that solves a problem that many people have. So many people buy a dog, and then their dog begins to eat everything they own. The dog begins to change the way they live their life. You end up having people that no longer invite people over to visit anymore because their dog is likely to jump up on them or to bite them. And so Ryan Wimpy, the founder of Tip Top Canine, has invested over a decade of his life into learning how to become one of the best dog trainers on the planet. And he is passionate about training dogs, and he has created a business model that solves a problem that thousands and thousands and even millions of Americans have, which is why my wife and I have decided to invest in the business model. And on today's show, Ryan Wimpy joins us to share how over the past 3 years, he's been able to grow Tip Top Canine from just one location to now more than 10 locations, and how maybe buying a Tip Top franchise might just be the right thing for you and your family to use to achieve your financial and time freedom goals. On today's show, we cover a lot of ground, so grab a pen and pad and let's enter into the lab as Ryan Wimpy shares with us the Tip Top Canine story.
You pooped in the refrigerator, and you ate a whole wheel of cheese? How'd you do that? It's actually, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, I am fired up for you to get to know somebody who can relate to you, somebody who is one of you, somebody who is an entrepreneur, somebody who pursued their passion, and somebody who's now having massive success. Ryan with Tip Top Canine, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
What's going on? I am good. How are you, Clay?
Well, last time I saw you, I'm doing very well. Last time I saw you, last time you were in the man cave here, the room looked very different.
It did. It looks a whole lot different. It's big.
It's bigger.
Big now. There are more books out, too.
Yeah, we had a big flood, and the flood filled this room, true story, with water about waist deep before I discovered how bad it was. So we had to gut the whole thing. So the man cave is much bigger. It's much better. It's back. And
Did you put more lights in here, too?
more lights, more barnwood,
Yeah.
more bookshelves.
Oh, more barnwood for sure.
Oh, the whole deal. More pinion wood is nailed to the walls. Just more accoutrements. The bathroom door has much more a swag attached to it now than it used to have. By the way,
Yeah, it looks like it's about to come off the hinges.
What's that?
It's just going to fold off the hinges.
Oh yeah.
The best addition, though, is that bear paw toilet paper dispenser.
Oh,
it looks like
that
bear
is
hands
cool.
coming out of the wall. It's
You
great.
love that
I'm
thing?
going to have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, it's awesome. Seriously. Now, on today's show, we're talking about something that's been 11 years in the making. That's the Tip Top Canine franchise. So let's tell the listeners, how did you and I first meet, Ryan?
We first met, actually called for an assessment. I heard you on the Profit First podcast with Mike McAllowitz.
And at that point, how long had you already been in business?
We've been working together for 3.5 years, so I'd already been in business for 7.5 years.
7.5 years.
Yeah.
So when did you actually first get the idea to start Tip Top Canine?
Well, I was actually training for someone else, and they were like, hey, we're moving to Indiana. So
you worked for a guy.
Yeah, I worked for a couple.
A couple.
Yeah, a husband-wife dog training team, and I worked for them. I had actually interned for them, worked for free for like 6 months to try to get hired. And then I worked for them. They moved, and I had been at a seminar before where a famous dog trainer had been training us, and he was like, hey, just so you know, if you ever want to go out on your own, let me know, and I'll help you get set up.
A famous dog trainer?
Yes.
Is this a thing?
Yeah. No, yeah, there's some famous dog trainers.
Was it Caesar Milan?
It was not.
Are you making that name up?
That's the only name I can come up with, too.
It's the only one I could think of.
I feel like I'm in a dream world where you guys are making things
That's
up.
the guy on the Dog Whisperer show.
That's the show?
That's who he's referring to.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So, all right,
Oh, no.
All right, so here we go. So you had this idea. You thought, hey, you know what? I probably shouldn't lose my job. I should probably start my own thing, maybe.
Yeah, so I was a full-time purchasing agent, and I trained dogs nights and weekends. And so I was like, well, I'm either going to go back to my cubicle or I'm going to do my own thing.
So you did your own thing.
Yep.
And how did you get your first 10 customers?
First 10 customers, not traditionally. I bought a van. I wrapped the van bright yellow, and I went out in the parking lot behind Chick-fil-A and trained my dogs for hours during lunch periods.
Are you being serious?
I'm dead serious, man. I am dead serious. I had no leads. I had no website. I had a business card from Vistaprint, and I would go train dogs with a bright yellow van, multiple dogs in the parking lot, until people would come and be like, dude, what is going on?
What I want to make sure the listeners get about this is a lot of people say they want to buy a franchise. August 5th, John Barnett has booked me to be the keynote speaker at the OxyFresh annual conference there. And when I'm speaking there to 400 franchisees, one of the things I have to remember is that John Barnett has dragon energy because he's the founder of OxyFresh.
Right.
So he did the same kind of guerrilla marketing that you had to do, Ryan, to build Tip Top Canine. There's a certain Jason, how would you describe these founder people, the scrappiness of these founders? How would you describe the aura of these founders?
They don't have a I'm going to lose bone in their body. They wake up every day with this
whatever it takes,
nonstop passion. Like the first time I met Barnett, I was used to seeing him on the elephant door cling. He's this nice, smiley guy. I get there, he's very polite, but my God, he's intense. He never sat down. He paced around the room the entire time, expo marker in hand, as you guys were nailing out the FDD, and he we were there for like, what, 7 straight hours?
Right.
And he just went. It was insane.
Because the idea is we're going to get an FDD made today.
Right.
So we're not going to leave the room until it's done.
Yeah, but both of you have that dragon energy where you're like, yeah, does this suck? Absolutely. We have to listen to all this legal jargon. We have to bounce ideas back and forth, but we're not stopping until it gets done.
So what happens is when you sell a franchise, this is the danger. This is what we always have to remember. Anybody out there who sells franchises, you've got to remember this. The people that want to buy a franchise, as a general rule, want time freedom and financial freedom. And they are not a bunch of battle axe wielding Viking people. Mm-hmm. And Breck, you started your own business.
Right.
You went through hell and back to build drbreck.com.
Yeah, I kind of just figured I was stupid enough to maybe just succeed.
How did you get
Because
your
I
first,
wouldn't quit.
How did you get your first 10 patients? Were you out there
man.
dog training with Ryan?
Well, I wasn't dog training, but yeah, I mean, it was just a hard, slow grind. I mean, it was just meeting people one-on-one, going door to door to introduce myself to neighbors in the area, like business neighbors.
You went door to door?
Yeah, meeting people anywhere I was at. I mean, if I was at a restaurant, I
love
was
this story.
leaving the same kind of Vistaprint card.
Adjusting people in
with
parking
every
lots.
every waitress that I talked to, I'm like,
go.
I know you're on your feet all day.
See-
If you need me, I'm here. I mean, I'm giving my card to people at the gas station. I mean, anywhere and
See,
everywhere.
And as we're breaking down Ryan's story, I want to make sure everybody gets this idea.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Home Depot, Office Depot on Wednesday night, and the most helpful customer service rep in the history of the world was there.
Yeah.
Wow. His name is Caden. He's a dude, and I went there and asked to buy a printer. Where can I find the Brother printer?
Right.
And this dude, like everybody else, kind of is almost avoiding me at Office Depot.
Probably not almost.
There's no overhead music. There's no energy there.
Right.
And this dude like springs to he springs into action almost like a puma, like a customer service puma. I can help you, sir. He comes from across the room, helps me, asks me if I want a warranty. Do I want to? Would I like him to help me? Do I need him to carry out the printer to my car? I mean, he's calling me, yes, sir, no, sir. So I hired the guy.
Awesome. I love that.
But
story.
I'm always.
I was wondering why you remembered his first name.
Oh my gosh! I'm always thinking that way. That when I go to Office Depot, I don't know how you go to Office Depot, guys, but when Ryan goes to Office Depot at Tip Top Canine, and I know when you go to Office Depot, you're thinking, I'm looking for good employees.
Sure.
Or when you meet somebody, you're thinking, well, they appear to have a spine. Maybe they need help. I mean, you're thinking, do you have a dog? If you've talked to somebody in conversation and they say, I have a dog, even though Tip Top Canine is now a bigger company,
Right.
you still have that sort of dragon energy, and it can be tough when somebody wants to buy a Tip Top Canine franchise because we have to vet you and to find out if you are the right fit, because if you don't have a certain level of scrappiness, it's not going to work, because Ryan's run through the minefield and has tried every possible marketing system that didn't work to find the stuff that does work.
Right.
But it could almost be befuddling to a founder when they're talking to a franchisee and the franchisee says, so you want me to go behind a Chick-fil-A and demo dogs? Are you nuts?
Well, most of our people are
Just
getting
nuts
leads
enough.
now.
Yeah, they're getting
They
leads.
get leads pretty quick.
They don't need to do that.
No.
But
No.
you came from a place where it's almost foreign to you not to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I still wear yellow, my yellow polo everywhere I go.
Yeah, you
I
do.
drive my yellow van
I love it.
everywhere I go. I have a car seat, so I'll take little man, put him in the yellow van. I still drive everywhere, and people come talk. They see a yellow van outside, they see a guy in a yellow dog training shirt, and they come talk.
So when did you start to gain traction? When did you feel like this was actually going to work?
Probably about year 5 or 6.
Year 5 or 6?
Yeah, I don't know if that's disheartening or not, but it took. I was pretty high skill level, but low business skill level. For
Skill
quite a
level
while.
of training dogs.
Correct.
Okay, but low business skill level.
Yes.
Yeah.
It took a while, man. It took a
and
while.
I think with clients that I coach who are like you, it's easier because you have dragon energy. So the biggest thing we have to work on, I would always say, is you learn the systems and then the stoicism.
Right.
Because, Jason, you see this. I talked to a guy, and by the way, this show's going to come out in April, so I'm not trying to throw a customer on under the bus or a client. I won't mention any of the details of their industry, but I'll just say this dude got a 4-star on Friday.
Yep.
We talked about this through text or calls starting at, I think, 6 a.m. on Friday. And we did not stop talking about this until 5 p.m. on Friday because he got a 4-star.
And the funny thing about that is in that amount of time, you could have gotten enough reviews to rebuild that reputation.
I know. But, I mean, it's like Won't stop. He calls me, hey, man, I got a problem. What's going on? Somebody left me a 4-star. And they're not even a customer. They didn't even buy from me. They're not even a customer. They are not. And I'm going, you got to let it go. What I want you to do is go up there. If you want to respond, you can. You can say, I appreciate you. We strive to provide you the best service possible. If you'd like to resolve the issue or we can help you in any way, please let me know. Boom, boom, boom. You know what he does?
What?
He goes up there and blasts the dude who wrote a 4-star.
Worst move.
Writes like a
I've
paragraph.
I've looked at some of those reviews for services that I'm wanting, and then I see like the owner get into some kind of little petty battle, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm going somewhere else.
That can ruin your Google My Business page.
Yeah.
It gets bad. So it's like, well, first off, you weren't even a customer. Second off, if you're going to be the kind of person that hides behind a false screen name. 3, I'm like, dude, stop that. So about noon, he's like, okay, I'll take it down. But then he's texting me, this crazy person is now emailing. He just can't move on. He literally spent his entire day focused on the 4-star.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's got that dragon energy. We ended on a good note. But Ryan, can you talk about that? Because you've learned to be a really great business owner now. You've learned these systems. But was that hard to learn that kind of that stoicism? Or is that
our team for a while was deathly afraid to get a 4-star or anything else because we had like 300 5-star reviews and we didn't have any bad ones yet. And we knew eventually everyone's like, it's not going to be me. It's not going to be me. But yeah, as far as the stoicism, that's like, I'm like, okay, I spend 4 hours writing my response, to the review.
Yeah.
Where now we can kind of let that go.
Let it go.
We have a lot more traction as well.
Okay, so let's talk about this now. So since you and I teamed up, I've just tried. I haven't done anything related to training dogs. All we've tried to do is systemize everything.
We don't let you touch the dogs.
We don't at all.
Right.
So if you go to tiptopcanine.com and then you go to a certain hidden page, if you're an owner of the Tip Top Canine, all of the documents are there for you. All of the documents on how to train a dog, how to do sales, how to do marketing, checklists, onboarding checklists, new hire paperwork, how to document injuries. I mean, everything is there. But it was like 10 years of knowledge is now on one page of the website. Is that pretty accurate?
Pretty much, yeah.
What was the most challenging part of systematizing your business? When I started telling you the moves to use, what was the most challenging part? I mean, now we got a turnkey system to generate leads. What was the hardest part to embrace?
Probably sitting down and actually doing it, because it's a lot easier to just do my job, to just train dogs. That's like easy for me and I like it. So to like sit down and type stuff out and creatively think, it's a lot more challenging. It's
to sit down and creatively think.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, in a quiet room. Yes.
I want to make sure the listeners get this. Let's think about the workflow, Jason, from left to right. On page 4 of the Boom Book, everybody, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources, thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources, you can see this stuff. But as you go from left to right on the Boom Book, the diagram here, you got to figure out your goals. So if somebody wants to buy a tip-top canine, why would somebody want to buy a franchise in your mind?
Well, like you said earlier, they want a business that's going to provide them with time and financial freedom. So they realize this is already a well-established business. All the systems are in place. All they have to do is staff and run it.
Now, because franchises are regulated by the federal government, there's only so much I can talk about, but I want to get into the things we're okay to talk about here. If I reach out and I want to hire Tip Top Canine to fix my dog, to train my dog,
right? How
much does it cost me approximately?
Anywhere from $400 to $4,000.
From $400 to $4,000?
Yes.
What would be like an average ticket in Tulsa, roughly?
Average ticket in Tulsa is $1,700.
Okay. Now, each location, Dr. Breck, can run at their own level of profitability or lack thereof.
Okay.
So you could, in theory, have a SWAT team of 4 or 5 dudes training that dog, and it could look like, Ryan, like the Wu-Tang Clan is out there training your dog. You could do that.
You already have the yellow and black. That's an idea.
And Dr. Breck, you've seen this, though, where you've seen chiropractors who overstaff.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have too many people working for you.
Yeah, I was at a conference recently where, this guy's on the stage talking about different things, and I'm like, man, that he's added up just multiple people, and finally I see him out in the lobby, and I'm like, there's an army behind all this.
So
it's crazy.
I want to make sure the listeners get this. With my business coaching that I do through Make Your Life Epic, I've been doing this since 2007 and 2008. And one thing that people have never understood, and I don't get, we have there's a graphic design firm in Tulsa who hates me. Oh, he hates me.
I think there's a few.
Yeah, and he shows up. And he shows up though to our to the office. This is 16th in Boston back in the day, and he goes, I don't even know how he got an appointment, but he's there somehow, and he says, Why are you the only graphic design firm in Tulsa that doesn't have a secretary? What is your deal? You're so cheap. Like, I mean, seriously, he was, and I didn't know you at this point, Jason, and I didn't know you yet, Ryan, or you, Breck, but we had a very, very nice coffee bar that I built.
Right.
So it was like going to Starbucks, and every kind of coffee's there, all the different things you could possibly add to it, the cinnamon sticks, but I'd never had a secretary. And I said, because I meet my clients on time, and then I meet the next client on time. So there's no need for me to pay somebody $50,000 a year to follow me around to greet people. I'm just not going to do it. Furthermore, my clients can call me directly. And he goes, dude, you are so unprofessional. I've heard that you don't even return voicemails of potential clients. And I go, absolutely, you're right, I don't. Because I'm booked out. He's like, that is... But see, he has a person that he's staffing to answer his phone and to greet customers. And that's like 45 to 50 grand a year.
Right.
The other thing he does that I don't do is he invoices his clients. And again, he came in for help. I guess he said that he needed help, and somehow he booked an appointment. So he's meeting with me to say he needs help. And he just basically spends his time complaining about things that I don't do. But he apparently, because I don't invoice people, he thinks that's kind of shady, that I don't invoice you. Now, Breck, if I did invoice a great client like Ryan, what would I then have to do?
Well, then you got to follow up on it, and you got to collect, and
Now, I got a bookkeeper that has to do that. Now, that's 2 jobs. So it is possible to run a Tip Top Canine extremely unprofitably.
Sure.
Or profitably.
I did it for quite a few years, yeah.
So what would be your tips for running a Tip Top Canine franchise unprofitably? What are the tips?
Oh, well, definitely the hire extra people that you don't need.
Get a whole rap group of people following you around.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely not needed. And then the other thing is some of the dogs or people, some of the people, they just do unnecessary activities that they don't need to do. Such as they want to make new systems, or they want to come up with creative ideas when really they got a franchise. So if they're diligent, then they make money.
So if you buy an OxyFresh franchise today, and I think it's a great deal. I've been working with John for a long, long time. If you buy an OxyFresh, don't email in to corporate suggesting a logo idea. Don't email
Don't
in.
buy a franchise if you want to recreate the wheel.
Yeah, if you want to be like the Picasso of the business and be super artistic and creative and change stuff around, don't reach out. But if you want a time freedom and financial freedom creating business, that's what Tip Top Canine is all about.
Right.
So now you've got these 12 locations open. Let's kind of go through a few of them and where they came from. So the one in Oklahoma City, that's Seth.
Yes.
And Seth used to be an employee for you?
Yeah, Seth was our training manager here in Tulsa.
And he thought, hey, I got to get on this deal.
Yeah.
If we're going to franchise, I want one.
Yep, absolutely.
And then you've got Owasso. Where did he come from, Adam?
So the guy who runs the Owasso location, he was actually a client. He actually paid us thousands of dollars to train his dogs, and he actually used our system for multiple years. And then he actually had a pit bull rescue, and then he became a franchise owner.
Where did the homeboys from South Lake, Texas, where did they come from?
They come from Tulsa. They were actually ex-clients as well.
So you got 2 ex-clients who are franchise owners.
Yes.
Then you got Seth in Oklahoma City, who's a former employee.
Correct.
And then you've got, let's go to Utah. I think Utah, he is a brother of one of my clients.
Yes, he did. He used to do door-to-door sales.
By the way, if you're a Mormon and you're listening to this show, buy a Tip Top Canine franchise.
I was about to ask if he's up in Utah. Is he Mormon?
Dude,
yeah,
Mormons don't lose.
He's he's one of the most diligent. We got a lot of diligent people actually, but he's insane.
Are you Mormon?
I wish.
Let's talk about this for a second, though. You're not Mormon.
No.
You're not Christian.
No. Are
you agnostic? What are you?
I have no idea. I would say, I guess agnostic would be the thing, because I don't openly hate anything. I'm just here.
Just take us into your spiritual world for a second. Where are you?
I'm listening to Wu-Tang Clan and trying to better myself as a human being.
Fair enough. Why do the Mormons in the office get it done so well? I mean, we have an army of Mormons working for us right now. I'm seriously, I'm not kidding. I have thought about this. I have talked about this. I've actually called to get quotes to run billboards right in front of BYU that says now hiring. Because the Mormons, I mean, what makes them so awesome in the office?
Well, they don't subscribe to the same employee mentality that most people do, where it's just like, if I were to come into the office and be like, God, what can I do today to make Clay say good job? How can I impress Clay? I'm not like most people don't work in order to be better at what they do. They work for some sort of self-gratification.
Yeah.
But like Ben and Amelia and Angela, they work super hard because they are working towards their God. They work as
unto the Lord. That's their whole thing. That's their whole deal. And it's funny, but we have a Dr. Whitlock reached out to me. He's one of my clients, and he said, I need help getting reviews. Can I pay one of your people to do it? So I said, sure. So we charge $25 an hour. And just so the listeners know, I pay the person $12 an hour who makes the calls. And they get paid, per review they get.
Right.
And Angela's supposed to make 100 calls a day. Breck, do you want to guess how many calls a day she makes?
I know it's more than 100.
She every day
150.
Every day tops 300 calls.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So if you look up Tulsa Cosmetic Surgery,
right.
She's taken Dr. Whitlock, who's been in business for over 15 years.
Yeah,
from
longer than I've been in business.
He's
took been here probably 20.
Yeah, she took him from like 50 reviews. She just moved past 307 reviews on Friday.
It's nuts.
Yeah. In just like 90 days.
And then didn't you say the other day that people are also, because she's calling, they're like, oh, I should probably come back in for another service.
Yes.
Yeah, it brings it back top of mind. Yeah.
He did $40,000 of sales last week. It's just unbelievable. So he's a Mormon up there, and he's implementing all the systems.
Yes.
How much? How easy is it for him to run the business, or for you? How easy is that relationship with that guy?
Oh, it's very easy. It's an easy relationship. I mean, he worked really hard when he was here at our initial training program.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man,
he's a diligent doer.
Oh, he is so diligent. We run 10-hour days and for training, and he would be here at least 11 or 12, and then sometimes he would send me pictures of video of him training his dog like later, and I'm like, dude, you've been training dogs for like 14 hours today, like every day.
And he runs his staff lean, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, it's him.
It's him.
It's him.
So if he does, and again, we can't make claims, but in the FDD, you can share sales totals. In his first year, could you share how much sales he did? Is that possible today or not?
Yeah, so like his last month that I have here in the FDD on record, June 2019, he did $19,575 by himself.
He did $19,000 in sales.
I called him and asked him. I was like, hey, do you have people now? And he was like, nope, just me. And I was like, what?
That's awesome.
Now, I don't know what he pays himself, but in that pie chart of where the money goes, if there's $19,000 coming in, and you don't have a whole lot of people on that payroll, basically you are the only person on that payroll. I empower you to pay yourself a lot of money.
That's definitely no one else has put up numbers like that by themselves. He is.
Shunda.
He's hustling.
Breck, you had a hot take.
Well, so my question is, how many of these people, because you've talked about a couple of former clients, and I mean, how many of them knew anything about training a dog?
Zero
to
dog
start
training
with?
experience. Zero.
So what about the former clients who were also obviously calling you to train their dogs? They obviously didn't know anything.
No, they had no idea. So like in Southlake, Kat, she was a graphic designer.
Yep.
And Adam, he sold mortgages. So they're not
complete departure. They're doing something
they
totally
just said
different.
like, hey, I got a new dog.
They
I don't
can
know what
follow
to do
the
with
system.
it. They called. And they're like, hey, I like this system. And then we're franchising, and they're like, well, that sounds fun.
In full disclosure, I was working with Ryan, and I think this is how I would describe our relationship. When we first started, I love our relationship now, but when we first started, whenever you work with someone with dragon energy, both of us are going to be a little bit pissed. Because like I'm teaching like urgent but sustainable. Like stoic, but let's get it done. And Ryan is teaching like, let's get it done. So you gotta, if you're not careful, the entrepreneur will want to change their ads every day. They'll want to change a print piece every day. And then nothing gets done. No. I'm just saying this is very good. It's a tough thing. But Ryan very quickly, I don't know if it was your wife kind of coaching you through that or if it was me or you, but pretty soon he realized he started getting it real fast going, okay, I got to get Google reviews. I got to write content. I got to have a no-brainer that works. I got to set it and forget it. Okay, I get it. So we're doing it. And I told Vanessa, we need to invest in this business because when you franchise, it costs some money. We're paying Wes Carter. I think the last legal bill we paid him was more than $10,000.
Yes,
Am I correct?
it was. Yeah.
We're paying him $10,000 multiple times.
Right.
And wintersking.com is a great law firm, and I'm happy to pay them.
Right.
But what we did is I said, Ryan, Rachel, if you guys want to team up, let's do it. You guys are the majority owners. I'll be a minority partner. I'll put in pro rata. Let's say we have a bill for $100. I'll put in $33. You put in $66. Let's do it that way. So full disclosure, I am an investor in the brand.
Right.
Zero input on the dog training, which is a good thing. But I build the systems, which is a good thing. So when people want a franchise, I don't think people realize how much it costs,
Right.
how much time it takes to
Right.
do it. It's a expensive.
A lot has gone into this to even get it to that point.
Right. So Ryan, how long did it take to get all the legal documents together?
the legal
to franchise?
documents was a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Right. That's meeting with Wes Carter,
Every
our
week.
attorney, every week for a year and a half.
And that's fast. And just so we're clear, I have worked with other brands, and that is fast. A year and a half is pretty fast.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's fast is because in the franchise disclosure document, you have to put in real numbers.
Sure.
And a lot of entrepreneurs don't have any numbers. Jason, I'm sure you've seen this before.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, hey, we got to put in your numbers. And they go, numbers?
What are numbers? How are you still a functioning business?
A lot of people, seriously, they don't pay their taxes for 3 or 4 years in a row.
Right.
Breck, I'm sure you've met people like this. They've gone 3 or 4 years without paying taxes. They don't track their numbers.
Mhm.
Is it fun tracking your numbers as a chiropractor? Do you like that?
I personally like it.
You're
but I'm a sick freak. Yeah, I like the numbers. But, I mean, especially when the numbers are trending the way you want them to trend, that's a whole lot of fun because you're watching the scoreboard just continue to tick up in your favor.
How helpful has Wes been, Ryan, on the legal aspect of it? Because I find him to be a very non-patronizing attorney. Can you talk about him?
He doesn't speak over me, if that makes sense.
Yep.
He makes the legal aid, and that's probably why we were able to do it quicker.
Yep.
Because he doesn't speak hardcore legalese. He's very reachable. He's very, very responsive because he only takes a limited amount of clients. And he really streamlined it. He's just with how responsive he is, we're able to make tons of changes really fast, and I don't feel like he's trying to ding us $20,000 a month or anything like that,
What's been the most rewarding aspect of running a tip-top canine franchise for you? What's been the most rewarding aspect of allowing and empowering other people to open their own tip-tops?
Yeah, the most rewarding, hands down the most rewarding, is seeing them in a year or year and a half be where it took me 6 years to get.
Everybody out there should keep that in perspective.
Like that's huge. Making what it literally took me 6 years, or seeing someone in a year of running a location, they're able to take a vacation, and I didn't for like 6-7 years.
And you like vacation.
I do like vacation.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You like it.
You don't. You're a sick man.
I know.
Right? I love
He
it.
is.
My wife and I, we love taking vacation.
I think I determined the other day when you mentioned that you like vacation, I don't.
Yeah.
I think I thought I spent way too much time thinking about it, but I think
Yeah.
I figured out
It's
why
good.
why I don't like vacation, and I thought about it. Yesterday, I spent my whole day. I don't talk to a single person.
Right.
I come upstairs to hang out with the kids around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, but all day I'm on vacation. I mean, I literally don't talk to a single person all day,
Nice.
and I do the same thing on Sunday essentially. So I'm kind of on a vacation, and I'm in here reading books, which I love to do. And I think I do I do vacation, but maybe not a vacation like on a beach. It's like
You
a
just do it
staycation.
differently.
Staycation. Staycation.
Staycation.
That's what it is. Okay, so let's talk about this. What kind of person should buy a tip-top canine?
Right.
And how much money does it cost?
A person who loves dogs
Okay, got it.
and is a diligent doer.
Gotta love dogs.
Right.
Gotta be
love
diligent.
dogs. Got to be diligent.
Got it.
And then the initial franchise fee is $43,000.
$43,000 to
Correct.
buy a tip-top canine franchise. You have to love dogs.
You have to you have to love dogs.
You can't
or it will
be
not work.
You can't be somebody who wants to buy a tip-top canine and let somebody else run it for you. You have to be an owner-operator. You have to
be an
personally-
owner-operator. So, like, you could buy a Pizza Hut and not like pizza, but it will not work for dog
You
training.
won't sell them one.
No.
If somebody out there says...
we will not. No.
So there's different kinds of franchises. Some are an owner-operator where you're basically buying a job.
Right.
And then you run that job. You run that business.
But this is a great job.
It's a great job.
It is a great job.
I don't know a lot of jobs where you can be up in Utah doing $20,000 a month of sales in your first year. I mean,
With
Yeah.
dogs. Like, can you
With
imagine?
dogs.
Like, that's dream job. Have you seen how beautiful Utah is?
No, he likes it. Oh, he loves
yeah.
it. He's in the mountain, especially when it's good weather. He's sending me pictures like in the mountains and stuff with dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is-
what makes Adam in South Lake so good at selling? Like, why does he sell well?
Well, he'd been selling in first he's a trained sales guy. He was selling mortgages. He does also his bonding and rapport building with clients is really good, really fast. Right, and they can tell he's like a good person.
What makes Seth such a good dog trainer? Seth in Oklahoma City. What makes him such a good dog trainer?
Well, he's super diligent guy, but he's also just sold out to dog training. So like when we first met him,
Yep.
he was taking his dog to the dog park every day, every week. So anytime I'm at the park, I always saw this guy, and
Yeah.
I was just like,
Man.
huh. And then, I trained him. He trained his dog 3-4 hours a day for a few months until his dog literally looked like mine from like zero to amazing. He's sold out.
Can you share, as we wrap up today's show, about the sales totals of Adam in Owasso? Like, what can you share with us about his sales during his first year? What this is stuff that's fully disclosed in the franchise disclosure document. This is all regulated by the federal government. What numbers could you share with us about Adam in Owasso?
Yeah, so first off, his area is less than 140,000 people.
Got it. So he's in an area with less than 140,000 people.
Right.
About the size of maybe St. Cloud, Minnesota. Maybe if some of you listening out there, not a big multi-million dollar or multi-million person city. I mean, it's a smaller area.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. I'll just go through we have January to June of 2019.
Got it.
So January, he did $20,690
Of sales.
Yes. February, he did $30,000
Of sales.
Yes, of sales.
And how many employees does he have? Do you know?
He has 2.
If you're out there today and
He's a diligent guy.
If you're out there today and you have found yourself in a career that causes you to work all the time and you don't make any money, then maybe it's time to make a switch.
Yeah.
So what I'd encourage you to do is go to tiptopcanine.com, and schedule an initial phone conversation. And guess who you're going to be stuck with? Me. Why? I'm going to try to vet you to see if you are the right fit to buy a Tip Top Canine. Now, if I think you're the right fit, I don't have majority vote. So then I will have you talk to Ryan and Rachel, and they're going to have you come out to Tulsa for a discovery day. Now, a discovery day is where you actually are working with Ryan and Rachel, actually seeing them train dogs. You're watching the call center make calls. You're seeing the dogs be trained. You're meeting the trainers. There's nothing hidden. Very transparent.
We'll actually have you work some dogs, too.
And after that, if you feel like it's a good fit and Ryan and Rachel feel like it's a good fit, then we will then schedule your initial training process. And the training process, how long does that training take to master the art of training dogs?
It's pretty intense. It's 6 weeks, and
6
it's
weeks.
60 hours a week. So we go 6 days a week, 10 hours a day.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Dr.
So
Breck,
that's
how
6
many weeks did you have to go to chiropractic
Tulsa.
school?
Several.
You went to school
There's
for
52 weeks a year, and
But I mean, you went to school for 7 years.
yeah.
to
Well, and I
become
went year round, so otherwise it would have been an 8-year process. But yeah, I did all my bachelor's degree and everything. I mean, just nonstop. You know, my wife graduated a year ahead of me in high school, and we dated in high school.
Wow.
So I was constantly like trying to play catch up, but
Yeah.
yet she never did like take her foot off the gas. She was still taking, full 18 to 24 hours a semester. So I'm like, how am I going to catch up unless I take like 26 and 28 hours a semester? So yeah, I mean, it was just like I gotta push it, because I wanted to finish at the same time and be together.
How many years did it take you running your chiropractic business, drbreck.com, before you did $20,000 a month of sales?
Oh goodness.
After 7 years of school, how many years did it take you?
Several.
Think about this, folks. It took Dr. Breck 7 years to finish school, to get the training, and then it took you several years to bring in the money that somebody's bringing in after 6 weeks, only 6 weeks of training.
Right.
And 1 year in business, people are putting up those numbers. It is
well,
an
and there was
outstanding.
a 6-month grace period on the student loans.
Oh.
So after the 6 month, it was like, oh, this just got real because I got to pay all this back.
How much do you charge for the training, Ryan? If someone wants to buy a Tip Top Canine franchise,
Well,
what
the training's included in the initial franchise fee.
And how much is that fee again?
It's $43,000, but that includes their first 3 months of SEO, grand opening marketing, and 6 weeks here, and all the gear that they're going to need.
Man, I appreciate you joining with us here this morning.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be having you on the show. We're going to try to have you on at least 2 or 3 times a month as we share the success of the different franchisees. We're going to be calling some of them. We'll actually be doing like a call-in portion of the show where we're going to call them on the phone and ask them about how it's been going for them. So Thrive Nation, get ready to get familiar with Ryan with Tip Top Canine. And if you are interested in buying a Tip Top Canine franchise, just go to tiptopcanine.com. Look for the franchise button and schedule a consultation with me, and we'll see if you're the right fit. You can ask any questions you want. It's all regulated by the federal government because it's a franchise. So this is a very a safe way to buy a business. The numbers can't be made up. We can't make any claims that aren't backed up by actual documented numbers. I'm a big fan of Tip Top Canine, a huge fan of Ryan and Rachel. And I'm starting to even like dogs. For a minimum, I have to have just a little exposure to a dog, Jason. You know,
Yeah.
I can do a dog. I can see dogs every Saturday for about an hour or two.
Yeah.
And then I'm good. I don't hate dogs. I'm
Right.
glad that if you're listening right now out there and you love dogs, I love that you love dogs. I'm starting to like dogs. But I don't like dogs to the level that they would ever sell me a franchise. All right, now we're going to end the show with a boom. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, we're joined here today with an actual friend of mine, longtime friend of mine. Started out as an employee of mine. No, actually, he started out as an employee for a client of mine. So this guy, today's guest, he was an A-player employee for one of my clients, scorebasketball.com. And then he became an employee of mine. He reached out to his employer at the time and said, hey, do you mind if I work for Clay Clark in the morning before I come to my job here? And he said, no problem. And he did an all-star job working with me. And then when today's guest heard about the opportunity to open up a tip-top canine franchise in the great state of Tennessee and in the great city of Nashville, he jumped on the opportunity. So, JT Lawson, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, first off, can you tell everybody out there, how did you and I first meet? What was that connection like?
We first met, I was working for Score Basketball, and we used to have a meeting, and we would go through one of your books. We would go through this book every day at the meetings, and so I started learning a little bit about you like that. And I thought at the time you were some business guru who doesn't sleep, who is all knowing when it comes to business. And then I just got done doing going to college for business. So I was like, I guarantee you, I know everything he does because I went to school for business. And so I got invited to the meetings where you were coaching them, going through the tracking sheet, tracking their cold calls, their ad stats, how much came in, just all the numbers you need to know. And all of the stuff you went through in the meeting was stuff I had literally never heard of in all of my years of college. So then I asked if I could go to a business conference that you were hosting, and clients of yours get to go for free. So I got to go. I showed up and I just started asking questions, and I was like, hey, how do I get mentors in my life that are business owners and not just employees? And you were like, when do you work for Score? And I was like, at nighttime. And you were like, come work for me in the morning. And I was like, deal. So, and I didn't know if it was paid or not or whatever. I was just coming and I didn't care. And then I went and I checked and you were like, check with Score, make sure it's okay with them and everything. And then I did. And now we're here.
Now, Score Basketball, you probably don't know this part of the story, but Don Calvert, I'm going to pull this up on the screen so people can see this. Don Calvert, the owner of Score Basketball, is a very, very good friend of mine. And he got referred to me because he had this wonderful idea of opening a basketball training facility. And I'm going to share with everybody his testimonial at the end of today's show so you can see it. He knew how to train kids in basketball, but he didn't know how to grow a successful company. And so I sat down with Don, and we went through everything that we needed to do to grow a successful company. Now, folks, if you're listening right now, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. And I'm going to walk you through this. You can download this book for free right now. It's no cost to you. It's thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. And I let him see from my perspective how we were going to grow his company. So you go to page 5 and I lay out, okay, here's what we got to do to grow your company. And folks, I'll try to zoom in a little bit so everyone can see this and follow along. But I said, we got to figure out your revenue goals, your yearly revenue goals. What are your goals per year? And he told me the number. And I said, okay, so what are your total weekly gross revenue goals? And he goes, I hadn't really thought about that before, but my weekly revenue goals are this. And I said, okay, how many students do you need to break even? And he's going, I hadn't really thought about that either. But he's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. He just never thought about these things. He's educated guy, went to college guy, read a lot of books guy. And I said, well, how many hours a week are you willing to work? And he's like, I hadn't really thought about that either. Like, okay, and now what's the unique value proposition? What does Score do that nobody else does? And he says, I've trained a certain number of players who've now played in the NBA. And I said, what? And he goes, oh yeah, I've trained a lot of guys who've gone on to play in the NBA. And I said, does anybody else know this? He says, no. I said, okay, we got to get that history of success on the website. We got to start filming testimonials. And so we began to do that process. And so that people could see how many players that Don has coached who now are playing at the NBA or college level. And then once we did that, I said, do you have a no-brainer? And he says, a no-brainer? What's a no-brainer? And I said, well, the no-brainer is an offer so hot that you simply cannot say no to the offer. And he goes, well, I don't have a no-brainer. He said, I start my lessons off at this many dollars per lesson. And I said, we need to offer the first lesson for $1. He says, why $1? He said, am I going to cheapen the brand? Are people going to take me seriously? I said, oh, yeah. So we offered the first deal for $1. And I said, Don, you have to call every single customer you've ever worked with and get them to leave you an objective review, because you've got like 3 reviews on Google. You've been doing this for 20 years and you're not making any money. We got to do this. So I helped Don with that. We established the no-brainer. Then after that, we improved the branding, the print pieces, the websites, the logo, everything needed, all the print pieces, the branding, the logo. We did all that. Then we had to come up with a 3-legged marketing stool. Now, the 3-legged marketing stool is how you go about getting customers. So what's interesting is the Tip Top Canine franchise model is almost exactly the same as Score Basketball. And you worked in Score Basketball and you saw that. So every single week, Don has to gather objective Google reviews from happy customers every week. And then we have to write articles so that this website comes up top in Google. And then we have to run ads over and over and over that reach their ideal and likely buyers, and retargeting ads that follow people around. So let me show you. So if you go to Google and you type in Tulsa basketball lessons, you scroll down, Score Basketball comes up top. They come up top again. They come up there. They're and the first 10, they're here. This is an ad. So if you type in Tulsa basketball lessons, ad, they come up top here. 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 And then the phone begins to ring. And Don's going, man, the phone's ringing. Well, now we have to build a sales system where you have a recorded calls using a company called clarityvoice.com. You have the scripts, the people that follow the scripts. By the way, that's a little bit of a challenge for business owners to write a script. And this is all the stuff we coach Don through. And from the time I started working with Don to now, he's grown his company, I want to say 6 times larger than it used to be. But JT, I call this is the crap you got to do to keep the business going. The core, repeatable, actionable processes. So I want to ask you this. Why did I have to go over the same topics with you? And you weren't the owner, by the way, but why would I have to meet with you and the manager and yourself every week to go over the same topics every single week?
Basically, the big one is accountability. Just having that accountability partner, because no one just has a burning desire to go out, get Google reviews, to track things, to figure out where leads are coming from, to check how much we're spending on ads or how much it costs per click. And these are things you have to do, and you have to check it often, or else the business starts to drift in a way that you don't want.
Now, I'm going to bring up Aaron Antis here for a second here. What we're talking about, Aaron, is why, after you build these initial systems to build a business,
yes, sir,
why you have to go over the same stuff over and over and over again. Now, let me bring this up for a second here. I want to show people this. I don't know if people are aware of this, but I'm going to pull it up so you can see. 96% of businesses fail, according to Inc. magazine, by default.
Yep.
And Aaron, you've seen wonderful people that have come in here and they've said, Aaron, Clay's helped you to grow Shaw Homes from 19 million to 140 plus $1 million. You've been working with Clay for 5 years plus.
Yep.
Could you help me? And you watch it happen. I sit down with them.
Yep.
I establish the revenue goals. I go over the break-even numbers. I go over the number of hours we're willing to work.
Mm-hmm.
We rebrand the whole company.
Oh, yeah.
We get them to the top of Google. We optimize their website. And where most people start to get frustrated is this box down here, this little box here called management or execution.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this. Why do you and I, because we meet every week, why do we have to go over every single week the same core, repeatable, actionable processes? I'm going to type this on the agenda so everyone can see this. Every week you have to get Google reviews from happy clients. Every week, every week you have to get Google reviews from happy clients. 2, you have to get video reviews from happy clients. 3, your ads have to be on. 4, we've got to do the group interview every single week. You have to do it. Yep. 5, you got to call the leads and record the calls. We got to record the calls, and then you got to train people. And it's over and over and over, like a maniacal obsession with doing the same thing over and over. Why don't most people by default do these items if they don't have weekly mentorship or accountability? Why don't people just go to the gym and get jacked without a trainer?
Because it's not fun. That for one thing, like doing, going out and getting a Google review. Well, I've done that a few hundred times. It's not, there's no excitement about it. It's not fun, but it moves the needle. And I've seen that for long enough that I know. I think for some people, they don't realize what kind of impact it'll make. Keeping your ads on. I mean, people, what I see a lot is I see people go, well, business is a little bit slower, so I'd like to pull back on the ads. I'm like, if business is slower, you need to accelerate the ads, not pull them back, or at least be consistent and keep it there.
Have you ever heard people say they quit doing the group interview because they're fully staffed now?
Oh, yeah.
They don't need to do the interview because they're fully staffed.
People go in and out of like ebbing and flowing, and instead of just doing the core repeatable actions over and over and over again, they want to do the new idea. Oh, but I've got this new idea about branding. I thought it'd be a real sizzle if we could change the logo.
Change the logo
and make it bigger.
Change the logo. Make the logo bigger.
Needs to get bigger.
If the logo was bigger,
sizzle,
it would be more fun, more sizzle. So we talk about this. This is big stuff for everyone to know out there. I'm going to pull up a different business we work with called Flutter. Flutter is not a dog training franchise, but just as an example, and with her business, every single week she does eyelash extensions.
Oh yeah,
and Kendra has grown her business dramatically.
Sharp lady.
You got to get Google reviews. Now, this isn't for every client. Every business is a little different, but for this particular business, she has to get Google reviews every week. We've got to write search engine content. We've got to keep the Facebook ads on. We've got to keep the retargeting ads on. We've got to make sure we're getting video testimonials. The leads come in. The calls have to be recorded. We have to use the pre-written scripts, the pre-written emails. The calls have to be recorded. Training has to happen. And everybody out there, she has multiple locations now. And at each of her locations, multiple locations, but each location, every week, they have to do the group interview.
We do too.
They have to have the manager meeting.
Yep, we do too.
They have to do the huddle.
We do too.
And yet, and so again, with somebody who the greats tend to bore down when mediocre people struggle with boredom.
So true.
So they want to bring in a new sales trainer or a new marketing guy with a new approach.
Let's take a new approach.
And they usually don't follow anything. Usually the people pitching ideas don't run a team.
No.
They usually just have random ideas. So let's focus back on Score Basketball. Then we'll go to Tip Top Canine. So JT, with Score Basketball, I'm trying not to cause any flashbacks, but this is the actual tracking sheet for Score Basketball, their current tracking sheet.
Yep.
And every week I ask them, guys, how many leads do you get? Why do I ask them every week? How many leads did you guys get?
Because you have to know, one, where they're coming from, two, and then you need to know how many, so you can, like Antis was saying, either you need to put the throttle on or pull back, but you have to know what you're doing, or else you're just going to.
I'm not asking you to throw your Score Basketball compadres under the bus.
Okay.
Was there ever a time where people would not have gotten Google reviews if they knew that I wasn't going to harass them every single week?
Well, I won't name names. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus.
Yeah,
but even when you said to do things, they would not do them and then come look at you and say, I did them. And what? No, you didn't. And so they're telling you they're making cold calls and that they're getting other stuff.
But they didn't.
Oh, yeah. And you can lie on the cold calls, but you can't lie on the Google reviews, because then you just go check and you're like, okay, how many you get? And they're like 15. You're like, awesome, let's see. You pull it up and you got 0. Now I thought I did.
Now we're installing a large Blockbuster sign in the background.
Yes.
So that's what that sound is. It's going to be awesome. Now you go here and you look up 85% of employees lie on their resume. So I want to be very clear. The reason why, as a business coach, why I go over the same things every week, and this is what's crazy, it's called cognitive dissonance. I actually have met business owners that lie to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They'll say, oh, man, I got 20 reviews. Woo! And I go, I'm open it in the tracking sheet. I'm showing 4. And they go, I got to be honest with you. I'm lying about that. And that happens. Oh, that's probably,
well, no, I got 20. They must have just taken away 16 of them.
But I mean, this is very normal in my life for people to say those kind of statements and to say, Oh, no. I did. And now I'm not shocked by it because 75% of employees steal from the workplace.
Yeah.
So with a brand like Tip Top, you really, the brand can't really not work because the systems work, but nothing will work unless you work.
Ooh, there it is.
So 75% of employees steal from the workplace. 85% of people lie on the resume. 96% of people their businesses failed. So you go back to Score Basketball. We got to get Google reviews. We got to get video reviews. Got to do the group interview.
Yep.
And JT, how did you decide that it was a good fit to buy a Tip Top canine? Like, what made you jump from going? Because you saw me work with business owners every day, day in, day out. You worked in the office and you would see clients come in that had unsuccessful companies, and you would watch these companies have massive growth.
Yeah.
No matter what the industry was. Why did you decide that you wanted to buy a Tip Top canine?
Yeah, well, and Aaron can attest to this, but when I've been in your office, I see that people who listen to you and are diligent and implement the systems, they just have massive growth and they succeed. Where the people who push back and try to argue, it's magic, but they don't. So I saw that Tip Top, they're implementing what you're saying.
Right.
And they're doing everything. You've systemized everything for them. And so one, it's a franchise. So, and when you open up a franchise, the stuff they have already works, which you help them get to that point where it works.
Yeah.
And so then it's like the bumper rails are up, but then also each individual location gets coaching from you guys and Thrive. So then it's like, I have the little dragon ramp thing that I just push the bowling ball down. So literally all I have to do is push and do the work, and you guys aim everything.
And again, this is what's great is within 6 weeks of training, Ryan and Rachel do a phenomenal job training people on how to train dogs. So if you're out there listening today and you're saying, I want to shift industries, we've got people that have worked in the mortgage industry that then shifted into dog training. They did great. In your case, you came from a basketball background. You switched. You're doing great. We got people moving from the concrete industry doing great. People moving from the fitness training industry doing great. People moving from all different industries. And I think the common denominator with all of the franchisees is I don't think that anybody previous to buying a Tip Top canine franchise was a dog trainer. Right. Now, unless I'm missing something, and maybe I'm wrong, because maybe I am missing something. The purpose of a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom for the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is a big thing. Maybe this is a controversial idea. Dr. Zellner and I know we share the same worldview, but Dr. Zellner is the #1 gross revenue optometrist in Oklahoma. And I'm one of the top haircut chains in Oklahoma. And I haven't even been to my store in 3 years. And I'm probably never going to go to the haircut store again because I would rather take that time to go to a competitor and mystery shop, Yeah. So the purpose of an elephant in the room, men's grooming lounge, is so that I can create time freedom and financial freedom. So I don't need to cut the hair personally I don't need to have a passion about hair in order to do well in that business. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused, is because the purpose of a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. Yeah. So if we look at Tip Top Canine Nashville now, as you're opening up Tip Top and you're doing well there, where are you at in the phase right now? Are you getting leads?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of leads. I'm getting anywhere between 12 and 18 leads a week.
So let's be clear. The average ticket, how much is the average ticket price?
Average is the average $1 sale right now is about $1,500, anywhere between $1,200 and $1,500.
So people
that's the average per $1.
So people pay $1 for the first Tip Top canine dog training lesson, right?
Yep.
They fill out the form. The call center calls them. You show up, and you're saying you're converting. You're getting 12 leads a week on average. Is that an accurate statement, you think?
Yeah, anywhere between I haven't been under 12 in weeks.
And are you getting Google reviews and video reviews every week?
I've never not gotten a video review from a client who's finished dog training. There's not one yet that I haven't got.
And are you getting the group interview? You doing that?
I am doing the group interview.
So you got the group interview, you got the Google reviews.
Yep.
You got the video reviews. Your ads are running.
Yep.
What's your biggest limiting factor? What's the one thing that once you solve that problem, it'll unleash more growth?
Currently the biggest limiting factor is just finding people that can show up on time. And I just did group interviews again. I'm doing it every week.
Yeah.
And last night there was about 5
Yeah.
good quality people. So I had 3 shadow today. I'm probably going to hire 2 to 3, and then I got 2 shadowing Saturday. So that problem's going to be solved quick.
So the group interview, now, Aaron, if you took out the group interview from shawhomes.com, again, which is one of Oklahoma's largest home building companies, if you stopped that process, what would happen?
We would have major problems because we're a big enough company that I've found that people quit or leave when it's convenient for them and not when it's convenient for me. And so we'll have people, life happens. We just had one of our top people left because they were moving out of state to be with family that's getting elderly and taking care of their family. And so they made that life choice to move, and they love Shaw Homes and would love to be here, but they need to go help family. And so that's one of my key people, and I had to replace them. And because we were doing the group interview, I had multiple people in mind the day that person said, hey, I'm about 2 weeks away from leaving. I already had the person lined up to put into that position. So it would be devastating to me to not have that, because then I got to go, oh my God, I have an emergency. This is a burning fire. Let me go start an ad and hope to get somebody in so then I can interview them and then I can pick them. I had multiple candidates from previous weeks already ready and in mind to be able to hire right off the bat. And our turnaround time was literally 1 day, and we had a person.
So again, JT, how big of a selling point was it when it came to buying a tip-top canine that I was involved and that my systems would be used?
The true reason is it's actually the only reason I did it.
And I'll tell you this, every business that I've ever been involved in does great.
Yep.
That's true.
And the only business that I've ever got involved in that hasn't been like a mediocre, like a massive meteoric, like rocket ship super success story was our online school. And I'll tell you about the online school. It's $19 a month. And it's sort of like tried to make it super affordable for entrepreneurs to learn entrepreneurship if they can't afford one-on-one coaching.
Right.
And, you got to have a lot of people paying $19 a month to be lucrative, so it pays the bills. But I'm telling you, every business that I've been involved in, they all scale. And the question is, am I a genius? No. Is Dr. Zellner a genius? No. It's because we know the proven systems. And so the big idea I want to communicate today is if you want to create time and financial freedom, you must master the crap, the core, repeatable, actionable processes. So JT, let's just say in the future, as your Tip Top continues to grow, and if you were in the future and let's say there's 50 franchisees in the future and they are all just doing great. Yep. And you got hired to speak at that conference to teach the things that make the Tip Top successful. What would be the things that you would make sure that every Tip Top canine owner masters, in addition to being a great dog trainer?
In addition to that is systems. So all of the systems, holding people accountable to the systems, actually jumping on the weekly coaching call so that you guys can help them. Like if I could only pick one, it would be to hop on that call, because then questions they have, they can ask, they can get it answered. And then also it's just the accountability factor of actually doing what you need to do. I know, I see you laughing at this. And then that would be the biggest things are all of the systems that you guys already have implemented. Just do them and just figure out, like you did on the in your book that you were talking about here. Figure out how many hours you're willing to work, have all of that set in stone, figure out your F6 goals that you talk about so that you remember that the business is a vehicle to get you to your destination. It's not your overall life, because then people get stuck and then they get stuck in creative ideas and all that stuff. So it's just staying on the path and implementing the systems.
Although you're running a successful location and your sales are blowing up and you like your own dog, how passionate are you about actually the art of dog training? Like how big of do you wake up every day going, what I want to do today is train dogs. That's my passion. Because again, people, I think when in franchising, I've met so many of the OxyFresh franchise owners over the year at oxyfresh.com, and almost none of them care about carpet. No one's like, oh man, no. Really want to clean that carpet. Greg, are you okay? Sorry, I blacked out. I was focusing on that carpet. Can I touch your carpet? Is that okay? Greg, we're not going to invite you over if you keep touching the carpet.
Quit licking the carpet.
Quit licking the carpet, Greg. Sorry, I'm writing a book right now called Carpet and What It Means to Me. I mean, it's just...
Why have you stapled your head to the carpet, Greg?
So, I mean, as far as is dog training itself like a big life passion for you? Do you wake up with this burning desire to train dogs?
No, I love my dog. I like dogs, but I don't truly wake up and like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to train dogs. I want to be patient all day and work with them. I'm not super passionate about like training dogs. I like dogs. And I love my dog, but I don't just wake up with a burning desire to be all things dog training.
So why did you buy a Tip Top Canine franchise? Is the goal to create time freedom and financial freedom? Is that the real goal?
So the only goal is to be able to live the life I want. And I can't do that without time freedom and financial freedom. And me and Antis talked about it at one of your conferences. I said my goal was to have 5 rental properties and my favorite places to travel.
Yep.
And he said, well, mine was 10. And I was like, okay, well, now mine's 11. So
I love it, JT.
I love it. Well, brother, thank you for carving out time. And again, I just want to encourage everybody out there. If you own a franchise, let's say you don't own a Tip Top Canine, but you own any other kind of business franchise. The franchise that you bought is successful because they introduced a proven system. Yep. And what you want to do is you want to master those core, repeatable, actionable processes. You want to master the core, repeatable, actionable processes. And remember, the greats among us, they bored down while the rest of the world chases shiny things and struggles with boredom. So, JT, thank you for joining us. And again, folks, if you want to learn more about owning a Tip Top Canine franchise, you can learn more about that at timetofreeamerica.com. We have a button there where you can find jobs that don't require the shots, or you can go directly to tiptopcanine.com. I would encourage you to go directly to tiptopcanine.com to learn more. JT, you smell terrific. Thanks a lot.
See you, Jay.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.
See you guys.
I played basketball at the University of Oklahoma, and my father was a high school coach. When I got out of college, what I wanted to do was coach. I coached in college for about 4 years, and then I had my son, and life changed. And my son was terminally ill. He had muscular dystrophy, what's called Duchenne's. At the time, I was working for a school. I needed to make more money because of all, doctor bills, all that kind of stuff you got to buy and everything. And so I started doing just a side program with SCORE, just doing a few basketball lessons. My schedule filled up. At the time, my son was in a wheelchair. It got to be quite a struggle with him. And so it was a constant fight every day of, do I work? Do I spend my time with him? How much time do I spend with working? But what I learned from all of it is you still got to get your job done. Well, I'm not a business owner, and I'm probably a terrible business owner. Back a couple of years ago, because I had parents tell me all the time, well, I wish I'd have known about you 3 years ago, or I've never heard of SCORE. We get that all the time. And then doing the finances, just everything that I had to do was just eating me alive. It would take hours every day. And so I needed to get smart about doing my business. All of us need a game plan. And Thrive 15 has helped me tremendously with that game plan. We changed how I was charging. We changed the programs we were doing. We changed the advertisement we were doing. We started doing everything smart. We're the largest basketball facility in this 3 or 4 state area. We have people that call us from all over Oklahoma because of our website. My time has been freed up tremendously because I'm not involved in all the little things. It's just streamlining your business so it's not taking just all of your time away from your family, because my wife's very important to me, my kids, I got to have some of that as well. And as a business owner, if you allow your business to eat you up, well, it's not really worth it. You got to have a value of life as well. We wouldn't be where we're at today without Thrive 15.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. the processes and the advertising and marketing, I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
Right there.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
What did it?
Freeze. Yeah, here he is.
Wow.
Good boy, Rhodey. Good boy. Look, that's Clay. You want to say something to Clay? Bark. Bark. Oh, that's Clay. That's Clay right there.
Wow.
Oh, okay, see?
And
See
the
what happened
good
to
good
Bull?
folks at Tip Top Canine kind of helped mentor you into your dog training skill set. Am I correct? Is that right?
Yeah. That's right. No, I had all the full training with Rhodey, and he would have eaten you, Clay, if you were here in person. He would have just ripped an arm off. You got to be careful.
Okay, now we're going to move into the heavier stuff here. Now that we've covered that,
Okay.
I want to make sure from an animal cruelty perspective, you weren't using a part of a dog as a windscreen. One thing, and it's super self-serving because I have partnered with the brand and have worked with the brand for a long time. Mike, I just wanted to ask you here. Feel free to punt if you want, but the good folks at Tip Top Canine, why I like them is they're providing opportunities for people that don't want to take the jab. So if you have a job, but you don't want to take the jab, I think that's going to be an increasingly difficult thing to find. And so if you're looking for a career that doesn't require the taking of the COVID-19 shots, the good folks at Tip Top Canine, they have a 6-week training program where in 6 weeks, you can learn how to open your own Tip Top Canine franchise. There's approaching 20 locations all over the country. Mike, you've worked with the Tip Top folks. Has your dog eaten you yet? Are you happy with the service? How's it been going so far?
Tip Top Canine is just amazing. I mean, really interacting with those folks and getting this dog changed my life. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. And I just want to put this offer out there to anybody listening who wants to consider opening a Tip Top Canine franchise. Once you open a franchise, I will announce it for free. I'll publicize it on my podcast, because what I learned from these guys, it's so life-changing. Even I'm training my other dogs, Clay. Now that I learned, let me back up. So Tip Top Canine people trained me, first of all, on how to train dogs, including this military dog I have here. And then I took that knowledge, and now I'm training my other dogs who I thought were uncontrollable. And now, guess what? They come when I call them. It's amazing. Using the training techniques, even a guy like me who's not a professional dog trainer, even I'm competent at training my own dogs now. But this is a great opportunity in any city in America, that's available for the franchises. People want to bring their dogs and have them trained, because more people are working at home. More lockdowns are probably coming, God forbid, but people need to be able to get along with their pets. And Tip Top Canine really is effective at making that happen. That's just my testimonial right there. Feel free to use it.
Mike Adams, thank you so much for carving out time. I really do appreciate you very much. Your studio is looking great there, sir. I know it's been a long time coming. You've been one of the first truth-telling voices in the movement, one of the most heavily censored people in America. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for investing in lighting and sound that makes you look better.
Well, see, we're giving you our wide shot here right now. This is the wide shot of the studio. Yeah, just
look great.
Just to show you, it's real. It's not a green screen. No, we're actually
good.
So
it looks great, Mike.
It's coming along. It's coming along. And yours has always looked awesome, but we finally upgraded to Clay's level of studio.
Mike, seriously, I say this: any of the events that you've ever wanted, if we ever do a Reawaken America tour, the door's always open for you. I appreciate all the work you do behind the scenes, keeping people focused on exposing the truth. You really are a leader in the truth movement. I appreciate that, sir. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Well, thank you, Clay. We're working at it. And again, keep me posted. If anybody joins the Tip Top Canine franchise, we want to announce it and help get all these dogs under control all across America, so they don't, eat our microphones and things like that.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Take care.
Right. Thank you, Clay. All right. Bye.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, and we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us to make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 25, 35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. Go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income, but is really rewarding.
Hello, my name is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that. And of course, we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was, anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing. And I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you. And there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay. And anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, so if you want to schedule a one-on-one consultation to learn about the business growth consulting that I provide, you can schedule that or learn more about that at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, thrivetimeshow.com. If you want to attend one of our in-person 2-day interactive business workshops, you can learn more about that at thrivetimeshow.com. And the way we charge for that is it's a $250 or whatever price you choose to pay to attend our in-person workshops. I do that not to give people a handout, but to give people a hand up. And we want to make those workshops affordable for everybody. And again, you can get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Also, you can book the complimentary 13-point assessment with myself to see how we can help you grow your business and take it to the next level. And if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on testimonials, you can see thousands of entrepreneurs just like you that we've helped to grow over and over again. That's just what I do. Growing businesses is my thing. It's easy for me to do, and it will be easy for you to do if you just follow the proven path. And then finally, if you want to schedule a consultation to learn more about opening a tip-top canine franchise, full disclosure, it'll take you about 6 weeks of training to become a tip-top canine franchise owner. And I would encourage you to learn more and schedule a free consultation to learn if opening a tip-top canine is right for you by going to tiptopcanine.com.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.